Do you remember like a week back, I said there was a sound that was in my head that I knew I had heard recently, but I couldn't remember what song it was in. It's in this Pleasure Seeker remix by Virtual Riot here at the end. Yeah. Bow, 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 bow. That sound there is like so cool. No idea how to make it, right? I have guesses, but it's always comical anytime I try to make these things by scratch. It's just how not close I am. Because a lot of times it's like I can think of like a similar something that was like yo like okay, there's clearly some sort of like something is passing through the spectrum to make that sound, but I think the thing I would pick almost always, I'd pick up like a phaser or something like that and have it go don't really fast or something like that, and it would just come out like sounding really different. And who knows, maybe that is a phaser, but I didn't actually try to just make this one. I was like, let me just see if I can look up a tutorial real fast, and so I just typed in Virtual Riot like Pleasure Seeker Remix tutorial. I did not find Virtual Riot breaking down this specific track, but I did find Mr. Bill breaking down a remix he did of a Virtual Riot track. Here, this Fork Funeral song, which has this one really cool sound in it that he talks about at great length. Awesome sound. Super cool sound that I've been trying to figure out like how to make that like it's clearly it's got that kind of vocal quality like like a throat singing sort of vibe where like you can tell that the fundamental note isn't changing, but what partial's being emphasized over the top it's changing. And every time I tried to use a filter to make this sound, I was like, this sounds like kind of like a Formant filters sort of shape, and so I'm gonna like grab those, but it was just never quite right. And so I was so excited, and he breaks it down, and it's pretty simple. It's really a basic shape like a saw wave into a bandpass into a distortion. And if you'll remember back like when we first started making drum and bass, I was really obsessed with this Muzz Ready For It remix where there's this one sound on the drop here. And that sounds pretty similar, that sort of sound thing. I was like, that is really cool. So can we make that? Let's use those basic same fundamentals, a basic shape with a bandpass and then some distortion at the top. And really cool, and you know, pretty close to we're getting somewhere, right? You know, I thought that was really cool to like find how that sound is made. And now I don't want to take that. I want to my version of this is not as good as their version is. I want to fine tune this for my sort of sound. I think it's better down in. That's better. And doing something like he was doing with like it moving around like would be pretty fun, but also pretty derivative. So I'm just glad to know what I'm hearing. I'm like, okay, that's a bandpass sound. That's not, it's not a Formant sound. It's a bandpass sound. And now that I think about it, like, okay, cool. It's like emphasizing. I literally said like it's emphasizing a certain partial. I just needed probably a simpler wave. To start with or something like that. I don't know what I was missing earlier, but now it makes so much sense. As far as the piece goes, things we did today, I started working on the next section, started moving on. I'm gonna leave the drop. I think I'm gonna come back and add at least one more thing into the drop, but let's get the piece a little bit more done overall, and then I can go back and add those fun details in. I started working on the cool down here, so I'll play kind of the drop and you can hear, or play like the back half of the drop and you can hear kind of what it sounds like. And from there, we're starting to build up kind of the next build section. These labels at the top are now wrong. We've kind of gotten off the grid here. This might not seem like much music, but I did make all these things by hand. This bass here is a sound I'm trying to kind of copy a sound that is, I tried my best to build a variation on this Alchemy dark analog bass that I like so much. I've used this in a bunch of my songs, and as cool as it is, I'd like to know what it is about it that I like so I can build it myself. It appears to be some sort of dark bass. This isn't very helpful, in a square arpeggio. So I zoom in on this, and it's some sort of sine wave shape. This like visualizer, it automatically snaps out the moment you stop zooming there. So I don't really know how to help myself see that better, to understand that wave shape better. And then this kind of like deformed square wave. What I ended up going for, kind of similarly, I more just stuck with kind of the saw wave shape. I tried doing the square wave, it just wasn't quite getting the same sound. And I think that more my sine wave being different than theirs is what's giving me the biggest change in sound here. But if I put it down kind of in that area, it's got kind of like, especially just this is close. I added this other one where it's just slowly bring it in and out, where it's up an octave, because the progression I choose, the lowest note was really getting lost. So it's kind of a subtle way to like bring in upper partials to emphasize the like, it's almost like I'm going up the octave here. If you listen to this, like, and it goes down, but it goes, you can really kind of emphasize the higher partial here, but you hear it go down, which is, I want it to go down, but I want to know what note we're going to without that extra voice of that higher octave being brought in there. It gets really muddy at the bottom, and it's just not a very satisfying thing. The other thing we built were these sounds here, which we made with this guy in Serum. Sort of sound, this basic MG wave. It's sort of like somewhere between a saw and a sine wave, and we automate everything with this one envelope here. The reverb is all coming from a Kilohertz reverb. We gave this one a shot. Very simple reverb UI, but it did a job, and I have it fully wet. It's just supposed to be this like, and when you very lightly touch it, you can kind of get these like really light muffled. I just played some notes and printed two of them. One of them was the second one you heard. Just those three notes and letting them ring out. And then this little chord here, not really supposed to be something you pay attention to at all. Just supposed to be underneath to really mesh with our guy here. And give that bass more shape and then fade into the background. I might, I don't know, do something like have it kind of go back and then like come back up for some of the other chord changes or something like that, but I kind of like the way it's sitting right now. It also plays, I think, really well with the echoes of the bells. The palette there is really nice. So this was just, this chord was not supposed to be something you notice. It just, it sounds like a tail of a synth that would have been playing during the drop, but there isn't it. It's just its own thing. So it honestly was, I'm getting better at the process of like, as I'm noodling with sounds, when I just like, all I did was hit play and I was like, let's just see kind of how this pad sounds. I hit those notes that made that sound. And then as it was ringing out, I was like, oh, that's really nice. I love that sound. Let's try some other things. Okay, I didn't like the rest of this, but that's okay. Shift R to print all to put the MIDI notes I just played onto the track, and then delete the ones that came after that I didn't like, and then Control B to bounce those notes, and then I just have the little sample of it here, and I'm able to put it where I wanted. So it's like, okay, just take the part I liked of the sound, put it in place, take another, and then played some more notes. Okay, I like those too, put those in place, and there's nothing going on these channels. They're just completely raw audio channels that are just pulled down in the mix. So getting a little bit better at like taking the little bits of sounds that I like and putting them into places. And I'm excited to see what else I do with this. My imagination's kind of running wild with like, oh, we could put like a little like inspirational quote in here or something. That seems a little cheesy, but I want to kind of find some other fun sounds to put in this area. It's a very good, I love the bed we've made. I mean, to put something on top of it that's topical to what's going on with the song and also fun to listen to in the ears. So yeah, P's starting to make some progress and big development and understanding of what specific sounds are in EDM, bandpass sounds. Going to use those a lot. That'll be a lot of fun. So yep, that's all we have time for today. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.